So welcome. We are at St. John's University now in the
Gurtkin, Oregon studio.
Great. And we're here today with
Brother Theophane
and Brother Paul Vincent.
And both are monks here at St. John's Abbey. And we're talking today about how would you encourage or advise young people how to discover their gifts and talents?
It's a great, what a important question. I think, and of course, I used to be a circus ringmaster, okay? That's what I wanted to be since I was a little kid. And I grew up in northern Wisconsin. And whether or not, that came through, but I was blessed with wonderful parents that, I don't know, I never asked them if they ever thought that it would actually happen, but certainly to let the young person explore, taste the things that they want to try out. It might be different than what the gang wants to do, but I think it's so important to discover who you really are. You are who you are, not who the gang is, and whoever, whatever somebody else wants you to be, huh? And it's a lifelong process as well. My goodness. Go for it, bro.
My advice to anybody trying to discover their gifts and talents is to try to be open and try to not be afraid, and to, as hard as it may be, to rule out fear in that decision-making process. Again, it might not be what the gang is all doing. Growing up, it's not always easy to do what I think God has called you to do. However, I always knew in my heart that being part of the greater church through music was something that was a real calling. And sometimes it wasn't always the easiest thing to do, but it certainly is rewarding. And it wasn't always easy. I didn't start at a young age with music at the piano or at the organ. That first came into being after I realized sports was not for me. I wasn't necessarily a strong scholastic, but music came into the scene a little bit later. But once it did, it really took off, and I've been thankful for it ever since. So not to be afraid and to try things out, to be open. And everything's probably not going to come real easy, but again, not to rule out fear and to not be afraid.
Absolutely, and I was thinking when you said not a strong scholastic, because I was not. I was on probation after my first semester here at St. John's when I was a freshman. Yeah. Once I got to grad school, and I went, I have almost 2 master's degrees, 4.0. So it's sort of after you develop and you become, you mature, you get confident, you discover who you really are. No one's better at being you than you. It's very difficult to be who you aren't. You don't do a good job at that. You really don't, no matter how hard you try, I think. And so when I started to I'm the youngest of 3, so I had 2 older brothers that had a lot of ideas for me. And so I think it's discovering who you are, and then you become comfortable, and you become confident, and then you do well.
Acceptance. Yeah, I think it brings an element of acceptance. The new is never easy, but with time. And I think teachers, you can never rule out teachers. Having good role models, parents, teachers around, never hurts. It certainly helps. I had Benedictines around from a very early age for wonderful leadership, not only in music, but in many of the disciplines. So
it's you're a musician. I was circus theater, but as you see, we're both monks now, and so discovering in the midst of all of that, also the calling to live the monastic way, to make vows, promises, to live a particular way, which is very countercultural. And so maybe what we've discovered in this conversation is that to really be who you are is maybe in a sense countercultural, because you're not doing what the masses are doing, what Madison Avenue would really like you to spend your money doing, your money and your time doing. That's not easy. It's darn scary sometimes, and sometimes you wonder if you're crazy, you know. But it's a magnificent life. It's a magnificent life.
So at what point do you think that discovering these gifts and talents transformed or changed into being a disciple?
I think they always were. I mean, I think we really, we might become more aware that we're a disciple, but I don't think there was ever sort of, I never had a mountaintop experience. I always knew that it was always a call to discipleship, I think. Somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. I really agree. I mean, one of the aha moments I had was announcing on the circus when someone came down to me and said, "You are really good at what you do." And I thought, I was afraid you were going to say that in a sense, because then I thought, so I'm going to spend this doing my talent, my God-given talent, doing this. No, there's certainly nothing wrong with doing that. Announcing a circus, it was great, I loved it. But is that really where I want to be for, is that where I really want to ascend to before I die? If I really do believe in Jesus Christ, is there something really more to it than that? So I think it is through the honesty of what you're searching for in your life, whether it's the organ keyboard or the ringmaster or the, you know, whatever it is, you keep on discovering who you really are, and you keep on digging down. And of course, at the center of that is Jesus Christ. You know, if you're being honest, I think it was for me. I can certainly say that.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.